Have you ever wondered how virtual reality has transformed to what it is today from the past? Even before the invention of virtual reality, the concept of VR can be seen randomly throughout history. One was depicted in a fictional book back in 1935. The history of VR is absolutely stunning. People have even been able to quit smoking cigarettes by using VR. It seems like the possibilities of VR are almost endless. In this video, you'll learn how VR got to where it's at right now, and where it's probably heading for the future. If you were to guess, you might think VR was created back in 1935, where I briefly discussed a fictional book by Stanley Weinbaum in the intro, but that's not the truth. VR goes much further back than that. The first ever VR concept was developed back in 1838 by Sir Charles Wheatstone. This revolutionizing concept was so astonishing that it helped him construct a stereoscope, which is considered to be one of the first milestones of VR. The user looks into the goggles, which a pair of mirrors reflect an image located off to the side. This gives the image depth and also gives the user a sense of three-dimensional immersion. You might have used one of these before. They're pretty common as toys for kids nowadays. The story I keep mentioning by Stanley Weinbaum is called Pygmalion's Spectacles, which had a fantastic and eerily accurate idea of how the future of VR is shaping up. The story, written in the early 1900s, featured a character who meets an old genius professor who invents mind-blowing goggles. The goggles let the character enter films, and he essentially gets transported into their world. While he's inside of that world, he can experience all of the main senses. He can smell, taste, touch, see, hear, and he's even able to interact with the characters in the movie. Interestingly enough, the story is extremely close to the modern idea of full-dive VR. Inspired by this fictional story, a VR machine was later created back in 1956, known as the Sensorama. The name Sensorama suggests that it would be an experience where you could feel different senses, and the inventor did just that. Cinematographer Morton Heilig created a large cinema booth that could incredibly fit 4 people at a time to witness one of the first VR experiences created. The cinema amazingly used numerous mind-blowing technologies like colored 3D video, audio, vibrators for thrilling scenes, sound effects. They even used smell, and also special effects, such as wind for a storm. No doubt, it was one of the most exciting inventions at that time, and people slowly began to grow excited for the future of these immersive experiences. Now that businesses knew there was the demand for these experiences, the first ever head-mounted VR, HMD, or head-mounted display, was created back in 1960, which set the precedent for modern VR goggles. It was known as the Telesphere Mask, a name that was coined by Heilig himself. Even though the headset needed a bit of work, it had stereoscopic 3D images, with wide vision and stereo sound, which was great for that time period. One of the best features that separated it from previous VR experiences, though, was the ability for users to mount it on their heads, instead of sticking their heads in VR machines. This led to a more immersive experience for the user. The next improved VR HMD was created back in 1968, which was named the Sword of Damocles. Sutherland and his student Bib Sproul were the two creators of this VR device. Instead of being connected with a camera, it was connected with computers that could show some virtual wire frame shapes. Because of the tracking that they integrated, these shapes changed when the user moved their head. This technology was one of the breakthroughs for VR, with the head tracking and change of perspective within the headset. Although, since this headset was extremely heavy, it had to be suspended from the ceiling, so it never ended up moving past the lab project that it was. Google was one of the big corporations that took major strides in virtual reality. The Aspen movie map was created back in 1977, which allowed users to wander through the streets of Aspen, Colorado, virtually, just like the Google Street View we know today. To add magic and spice, there were 3 modes you could choose from, such as summer, winter, and polygon. The images and pictures that were used were taken from a car that drove through the city, collecting pictures of literally everything. It was the first ever interactive VR device that could transport people to other places without actually going there, a dream that became a reality in 1977. Numerous developments happened after 1977, but a miraculous event happened back in 1991 when a NASA scientist, Antonio Medina, created a VR device that could drive rovers on Mars. Despite the signal delay, it was no less than a marvelous invention where the control of rovers on Mars became possible just by VR systems in real time. It was dubbed Computer Simulated Teleoperation. This helped lead to the Virtuality Group, They made machines where gamers could play games in a 3D world. These headsets could play some of the most popular arcade games such as Pac-Man, and some could even link up together to play multiplayer games. For the first time ever, gamers were shocked to see something that could allow them to have a real-world experience while playing. It was revolutionary for the gaming industry, and companies like Saga announced that they would create VR headsets solely for gaming. The VR race was on. In 2007, Google launched its iconic Street View. Initially, dodecahedral cameras were used to capture the streets of 5 cities, using many cars that traveled on every street. Because they had experience mapping out Aspen back in the 1970s, they were able to master mapping new cities, and with the new technology that they had, it made it that much easier. In 2010, Google launched its stereoscopic Street View that added much more detail. And this time, it attracted millions of users around the world to become more surprised than ever from the wonders of VR. 2 years later, in 2012, an 18-year-old entrepreneur, Palmer Luckey, created the first Oculus Rift prototype, which featured a 90-degree field of vision, which helped boost the interest for VR even further. He found massive success, building some of the first mainstream headsets. Facebook bought Peter's company, Oculus, for a whopping $2 billion US, which was one of the most crucial steps that got big companies interested in joining the VR business. Soon after, Sony announced Project Morpheus, which was a VR headset for PlayStation 4. Also, Google created the Cardboard, a type of VR goggles that could give stereoscopic view of your smartphone, which would be affordable and also would appeal to the masses. Forbes dubbed the year 2019 as the year virtual reality gets real, because of the high amount of momentum that VR has amassed in those past couple years. The Oculus Quest was a catalyst for this movement, which sold out in many locations because of the cheap price. People were becoming more and more interested in VR, which opened the doors to a modern race to create the best VR systems. The company Valve is regarded as the leader of the race right now, with some of their advanced technologies in the luxury Valve Index headset. The company owner, Gabe Newell, even says that there are insane VR developments that are going to happen in the next couple of years, which will be close to otherworldly. Along with Gabe Newell's passion for this technology, this multi-billion-dollar company believes VR is the future, and they are investing insane amounts of money in research and development to pave the way for the future of VR. The future of VR is more thrilling than one can imagine, because VR itself has opened the doors for many possibilities that seemed quite impossible in the past. The best thing about the future of VR is we don't exactly know where it will take us. We can speculate, but we can't necessarily say for sure where it will go. As I delve more deeply into the history of VR, I realized that VR is a very young technology, which could keep growing into something absolutely insane. We still don't know exactly how the human brain works, which is probably crucial for the advancement of VR at some point. I do hope that Stanley Weinbaum's depiction of VR will come true in the future. Something that is fully immersive, which has all of our senses integrated in it, would be absolutely amazing. Full dive is an endgame goal for VR, which is a virtual experience that is indistinguishable from reality. Once we have that, we will be able to do anything we want in VR, and have experiences like no other. For now though, we'll have to wait and see where the technology takes us. Anyways guys, that's about it for me. Don't be shy and comment right below. How do you think VR will evolve in the future? And if you liked the video, make sure to subscribe and give the video a like. Thanks for watching, until next time.